No, Port Townsend is not safe. Any area is only as safe as the county prosecutor, the mayor, the judges, and the city manager let it be. Had some people ask me what I think about all the shootings, right? In Port Townsend, Hadlock, people are seeing an uptick in crime. People will just come right up to their house and try to sell them stuff and be quite aggressive. Well, there's no criminal that's afraid of Port Townsend. There's no way. All you got to do is read the headlines, okay? So the prosecutor, someone unalived their child, okay, said he couldn't prosecute him. Guy had 40 priors. And even if he couldn't prosecute him for hiding a body. So hiding bodies are illegal in Port Townsend. You look at the press conference and what Antifa and what the mob did. The city did that. The city itself incited it and then protected the assailants. There was assault on an officer, right? So they know that you can assault an officer in Port Townsend and the mayor's law firm will get you out of the charges. They know that the prosecutor's corrupt and will say, okay, right? The criminals know they can commit felony assault hate crimes and that prosecutor Kennedy won't prosecute and that the mayor's law firm will help get him out of charges and the city manager will back them all up. Okay, so this happens over and over and over. So shocker, there's a bunch more crime. Well, of course there is, because they don't prosecute the criminals. They protect Jefferson healthcare. They protect their ideology. They protect their government position, and they do not protect the people. It's just a fact. So when you go, oh, there's more crime in Port Townsend. Okay, look at some of my videos out there about Officer Fudali, okay? Look at what Officer Greenspan did to us at the press conference. They pick a side. They don't pick the law. Okay, they just pick whoever they like best. You know, it's a good old boys club. So it's ripe for criminals. Criminals can come in and do whatever they want because they know they're not going to get prosecuted. It's weak laws here. And then, but yet Kennedy will prosecute if a homeless guy doesn't have right cream for his dog, or me. He wanted to try to prosecute me for sharing, making court transparent, which isn't illegal. So Kennedy had lunch with a man I was afraid of and counseled him on getting a protective order against me. That's our county prosecutor. So your county prosecutors, your mayor, your city council, your county commissioners, your city manager that's in charge of the police, that's your problem, okay? People think that it's crime or it's you know, a people thing. It's not. It's John Morrow is the problem. He's the city manager. He's the boss of the police. And the police are willing to do whatever their boss says and violate your constitutional rights for a paycheck. That's the problem. So drive-by shootings down Port Townsend? Yep. Okay. Officer Bertig, he went after Libby Winstrom's ex, gave her special privilege. Officer Cam, where they looked in his windows, they were trying to set him up for having guns. They give a guy a protective order because he said, Eric Winstrom's flying drones over me, but then said, you can fly drones over him, right? This is the kind of cops you have in Port Townsend. There's Jefferson County, Port Townsend, involved in human trafficking. Look at the Jenny Ellison story, what they did to her, and go after any of the criminals. Look at judges like Lorraine Remsen, protects the abuser. I brought her hundreds and hundreds of pages of crimes, of abuse, of theft, of forgery, and she persecuted me. Mac, I bring them all information on bad guys, and they give protective orders against me saying I'm condoning the bad things because I'm sounding the alarm. This is your Jefferson County, this is your legal team, right, at the highest court levels. So, of course, there's crime here, and there's going to be a lot more of it. Drive-by shootings? Yeah. Robberies? Yeah. Car prowls? Yeah. It was never there before Morrow come to town. Okay, Port Townsend wasn't like this. You got Prosecutor Kennedy and you got Morrow. That's the change in the last 7 years, right? It didn't used to be like this in Port Townsend. It's not the people of Port Townsend. Okay, it's your judges. It's your prosecutors. You got Chris Ashcroft's like, oh, it's good old boys with Sam Feinstein of Feinstein and Faber. You got Sam Feinstein, who calls women up and harasses them and tries to get them to give their kids to their abusers, not even their attorney. They have their own attorney. They're mean and horrible. Any nasty movie you've ever seen, like a big city corruption, that's in Port Townsend. And Sam Feinstein is a pro tem judge in Clallam County. They got it all sewed up. So if you vote these people in, that's what you get. So now you're like, well, why do we have crime? Why is there guns? And why? Oh, well, let's take away all their guns. Yeah. All right. Take away all their guns. No guns allowed in Jefferson County now. Right. And that's going to stop the criminals from getting guns and shooting people or shooting houses. Or it's happening several times in the last week. People have messaged me talking about machine guns and big booms and drive-by shootings is in the paper. This is Port Townsend. Okay. This is your leadership. The boss of the police is City Manager John Morrow. He's corrupt. He's all for ideology. He's puppet stringed by Sandoval. You got Faber, and you got all their orgies on FetLife where they all blackmail each other for the most intense sexual fetishes and abuse you've ever seen. They have a club called Littles where grown adults dress as children. These are the people running Port Townsend. Okay, look at the leadership. You're going to have a lot more crime coming. Stay tuned.